What's up, everyone? Good morning. We're in a new spot today. Got some outdoor furniture. Not even furniture, I'm not sure what it is. An L seating arrangement. So now I can enjoy my corn with some cushion. I got my coffee here, and it's a little bright out, but I'm in the shade here, so it'll be nice. So we'll start chatting here. And as always, if you guys like this page, feel free to comment below, share. And if you guys have questions, let me know. Again, please feel free to ask what you might, and if you guys like it, tune in and subscribe. I got my coffee, so let's hop in. I want to talk a little bit about a way of thinking, and specifically how when we read and listen to stuff on social media and read books and papers and listen to speakers, how I approach, determining whether or not something is right or wrong. And I don't think the word right or wrong is appropriate here. I like to think of it, and this is the whole basis of this type of thinking, is that it's on a spectrum of confidence of accuracy. So 0% being I am positively sure that is inaccurate, and 100% means like a golden truth. And obviously it's probably neither of those whenever we talk about anything in strength conditioning, but it's some aspect of, confidence. And within that statement might have aspects that are true. So if that statement is true-ish to an extent, what are those truths and how can I use them? So, a giant bug just flew by. My goodness, I'm not sure if I got that on camera. Butterfly. But, so here, let's just talk about it. I'm reading a paper, and I'm reading this morning actually about supercompensation. And in the paper, it's talking about the idea of supercompensation, how we have fatigue, some sort of dip, which is the fatigue portion, and then the supercompensation. That's the world's worst job of explaining that. I'm sorry. There's a workout, your baseline, then you have fatigue because you had a workout, and then you had recovery, which is the supercompensation. And now in these books, they talk about this type of stuff all the time. And I looked at it, I'm like, well, that's accurate in concept, but what is the time context of it? Is it a day? Is it minutes? Is it weeks? Is it hours? Is it months? And then you go and you try and read the original work of Hans Selye, who did a lot of the stuff of general adaptation theory, and you start to realize that this concept is kind of a nebulous, not really a super defined concept, and it's quite dependent on what area we're talking about, neurologically, whether it's physiologically or different areas at all. And the point is that you see the extrapolation of this idea of supercompensation, which is a very detailed, a little bit oversimplification of a complicated process, and then extrapolated into training to where we have signed off days and recovery days because of supercompensation. And I am at fault for, maybe not provide enough context when I speak about this type of stuff myself as well. Because again, the context which you're allowed to talk on this framework, no one wants to hear you discuss for 40 minutes about the kind of minutia of supercompensation theory and the ideas of how it can be applied in a more specific fashion beyond just the general concept of we have a workout, we have fatigue, we have recovery, which are gains. But the idea is when you read that kind of stuff and you read it, the application of it, the more you understand the fundamental principle from which that application is pulling from, the more you can provide a confidence level of thinking as to how accurate you think that thing is. For example, if someone takes supercompensation theory and general adaptation theory, and they just take it and they say, well, we do this because of general adaptation and blah, blah, blah. Well, it might be partially correct, but the application of it might be missing out some of the base concepts which surround general adaptation theory, and that is the ability to buffer stress against repetitive stress, which that is you've been exposed to before because you have built up specific capacity. So again, an interesting concept that is within the minutia and the granularity of the idea of general adaptation theory, but not often applied or discussed. And when we extrapolate this to training, that's often ignored. So when you listen to someone talk about this concept, you need to think in your head, if you want to understand the application of this concept, you need to understand the concept itself, which means you yourself have to build up the evidence to either prove or disprove someone else's talk or provide a level of confidence towards it. And that level of confidence that you provide towards a statement should be based on the evidence you have accumulated, not on the evidence they have provided. obviously the evidence they have provided is probably going to be leaning into a high level of confidence in their statement. But that doesn't mean the actual evidence, the totality of evidence of whatever could be collected, is actually leaning in their correctness or not. So then you should understand where your confidence is coming from, the percent accuracy of a statement, and then we should take that same method of thinking and apply it to when we talk to other people, when we listen to people, when we understand other people's programs, because you need to understand and think about, well, where are they gathering their evidence from? How are they determining X, Y, and Z? And what level of confidence do they have in their statements? Because the issue with the statement that any human being provides is there's never a contextualized confidence meter with it. We only have words, and words are very static in nature. There's no spectrum. They're not fluid, right? I can't say a word and it has a level of confidence in it outside of maybe the tone of your voice can modify the actual meaning of the word, or at least the confidence within it. And because of that, our language is innately limited. It doesn't have the ability to have fluidity within it or change. Even it's missing almost like a dimension of, I can make a statement, but what level is my confidence in that statement in terms of accuracy of evidence I have gathered up to draw that conclusion. And so it's an interesting concept, and it's something that I've often think about when I read and when I listen to people, because people say things and they have to say things within the framework and constraints of that of our language. And so we ourselves shouldn't be limited by the fact that our language is very constrained in nature, and we should try and understand the level of confidence that they're speaking at. Is the level of accuracy, because again, nothing is going to, if we just took everything as perfectly accurate, you'd have so many conflicting concepts that nothing would be accurate. But obviously that's not how thought works, and it's not how conclusions work. Conclusions are kind of this very much a gray area of understanding when it comes to determining accuracy. It's not like anything's actually conclusive. It's more like leaning towards or something of that nature. So I'm rambling here. Didn't really even talk about strength training. Talked a little bit about it. Just more of a concept I've been thinking about and something I want to share, and I hope you all enjoy. I appreciate y'all as always. Take care, and if you guys enjoy these talks, feel free to like and subscribe, and we can talk about different stuff a little bit. Like, this is kind of a little bit different, kind of like strength conditioning, but a little bit different. So I appreciate you guys. As always, take care and enjoy.